We haven't got Miles on the podcast with us today to discuss Aston Villa's latest away struggle as they drew 2-2 against Bournemouth. So we'll have to go ahead without him and pick it apart. Again, once I think Villa fans will look at results like this 2-2 draw against Bournemouth, and whilst credit is due to Bournemouth for the way they performed, it feels like another missed opportunity to kind of perform above and beyond where we expect Villa to be, doesn't it? Because they're in and around the top four. They're in the top four currently, but again, it's another what could have been had they got 3 points here. And I think the goals that Villa scored from Leon Bailey, first of all, cutting inside and hitting it on his left, and obviously Ollie Watkins with the equaliser deep into the last minute of the game, are both admirable. But the way they're conceding goals away from home tells a different story, doesn't it? It's an almost completely different set of psychological circumstances playing away for them. Why do you think that is, mate?
It is kind of difficult to pick apart. I think if you look at where, especially the first goal that they conceded, it all comes from an individual error really, and that's coming trying to play out from the back. And we've seen how Areola's wanted Bournemouth to set up and play their game, and obviously their counter press has really come on as the season sort of progressed. And inevitably, I don't think you can slate Villa too much. If you look at the way they've played this season and the way they've built their play from the back, it's been really good. And I do feel as though it's just one of those things. It's going to happen at times where you probably are going to lose possession. It's just, I think, because they conceded possession so deep, in their so close to their penalty area, and Semenyo's, he couldn't be in any better position. They're just really unfortunate that he actually loses the ball. Villa get it back, and that it's just one stray pass, and he's in behind because he's so close to the opposition goal that he's there to take advantage, and it's a great finish from him. But it is a bit of a concern. I think that their away form, and I think it'd be really deciding for them in terms of whether they can actually make that next jump. I did think, to be honest, before the beginning of this game, I thought this could be a banana skin for them. The way that Bournemouth have been playing of late, obviously won their last two games, obviously on the back of a great result against Newcastle and a really good result against Sheffield United. I thought this could be a difficult game for them, and it was. And obviously, Areola is here, another Manager of the Month nominee. Is improved that team by considerable amounts, and I just do feel as though Villa, if you look at the two goals that they scored, great goals. Leon Bailey has been far improved from what we saw last year. I think we were just waiting for him to kind of piece it together, and he looks very much like a player very new to the league and was just trying to find his feet. He did pick up a couple of really unfortunate injuries, really, unfortunate times, but he's starting to really make that sort of right wing his position. And Watkins doing what he's done all season and scoring important goals, and that could be a really vital point for them coming into the year. They've got quite a good gap, quite a decent cushion still between themselves and I think sixth place. I think it's like 4 points, which is just pretty good at this time of year. And there are going to be other points that are dropped throughout the season, but teams in and around there, it's going to be, especially during this Christmas period, it's going to be absolutely hectic. So I think it's a good point for me. I think it is a good point.
What Unai Emery actually said in his own words: "This point is not the best, but it's not the worst." That kind of sums it up in a nutshell, doesn't it? It was a point that they couldn't really afford to drop, but it's also a valuable point in staying in the top 4 hunt, isn't it? So it's a sign of how far Villa have come that they are disappointed at losing the points in that way, really.
I think if they'd have gone ahead, it was the Carlos goal, wasn't it? It was given offside.
Yeah.
I think if they got in front, and that was the main thing for me, if they went ahead, then made it 2-1, I think they probably would have gone on and won it, because we've seen time and again this season where they've gone ahead and they've really kind of taken the initiative and compounded more misery on their opponents, and they weren't able to kind of really push their case this game. But We've seen, many games this season. They've not struggled to create opportunities and score goals, and I think there will be thereabouts at the end of the season contending for them European places.
I think conceding the first goal away from home is always a killer for them. And they never
Yeah.
seem to take the lead away from home. So within 10 minutes, Semenyo's goal kind of ruined any momentum they might have built up. But to be fair, Semenyo could have been sent off. I don't know if you saw, but
Mm.
he probably could have and should have had a second yellow. And how many times have we seen that this season as well, where a player's already on a yellow, has a contentious foul kind of just overlooked and not given a second, when actually, if that was his first defence, he probably would have been booked. So I think Villa can count themselves slightly unlucky there as well, to be fair.
I don't understand those decisions from referees. It's almost like sometimes, especially when they make a decision and think, oh, maybe that first one wasn't a yellow, so I won't give this one a yellow. That's just not how it should be. If you've made a mistake, make the right decision next time. Do you know what I mean? Not make
Yeah,
two mistakes. It's just terrible. It was a blatant yellow, and
yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
as much as I really don't like the idea of this sin bin uh, thing they're going to come bring in and sort of trial, I think it's going to be horrendous, to be honest, because it's going to put even more pressure on referee and VAR.
yeah,
There will be stoppages. It will be an absolute nightmare. That is a tactical foul that should just be a yellow card. Any shirt pull or any pullback where it's preventing, a break or anything
yeah.
like that should always be a yellow card for me.